Is your online course not selling? No worries. In this video, I will share with you a few strategies on how to fix that. I started my online business back in 2014 and I had no idea how to sell online. After 9 months in online business, I still didn't know how to sell my online courses. I knew I had to change something and I decided to learn how to sell online. Fast forward to 2023, and I have made $15 million in revenue in my online business, and thereof $8 million in online course sales alone. I love selling online courses. I love teaching my clients how to create online courses and how to sell them. First time I offered an online course, I decided to have it free. 134 people signed up in a week, and I was so happy. It was a 7-day course with daily assignments. It was quite intense, and I realized during the delivery that it should have been a 4-week online course. And of course, I changed that later on. This is, by the way, what I teach in my signature program, Samba Kickstart. I teach you how to create your first or next online course and start to make money online. Basically, what happened next, at the end of the online course, I got dozens of testimonials, and the participants were really happy with the course, and I was happy too, of course, and I had created my first online course. Super proud, but then I made a big mistake. I didn't make an offer at the end. The participants left my world happy and probably bought something from someone else. Not making an offer to an engaged audience is probably the biggest mistake you can make. But there are other very common mistakes, and I've made them all. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Later that same year, I wanted to sell my newly created and now 4-week course. I had an email list with a few hundred email addresses, and I was writing regular newsletters. I thought I had an engaged audience that was ready to buy. I sent out a few emails, made a few social media posts, and I used the same strategy a few times throughout the year. At the end of the year, I had sold 17 spots for my online course and made just over $3,000. This was not sustainable. My online course wasn't selling enough. Having an email list doesn't mean that your subscribers are ready to buy. Towards the end of my first year in online business, I finally learned how to sell on a webinar. I learned to launch. I was ecstatic. I had 600 people signed up for my webinar and then made them an offer for a new online course that I wanted to create. Luckily, I had not created it yet because only one person bought and I refunded the person. I had just made another major mistake. I offered my audience an online course that no one, literally no one, had even asked for. I had just made the assumption that this is what they wanted. You cannot sell something to people that they don't want to buy. I'm curious, have you made any of those mistakes? Tell me in the comments. My first year in online business was full of lessons on how to not sell an online course. And here's my biggest takeaways for you. So first of all, it's a numbers game. You need enough people interested in the first place. In my first free course, I had 134 signups. That means about 4 potential clients because the typical conversion rate is 3%. But of course, you have to make an offer to close those sales. Duh. Many course creators are disappointed when they hear that the average conversion rate is only 3%. Actually, many of my students come to me and tell me that they only sold X spots of their online course. And when I point out to them that actually their conversion rate is above the average, they realize that they actually did a good job. Knowing that 3% is normal conversion rates in online course sales helps you with your expectations. Second, you can only sell people what they want to buy. So find out what they want and then give it to them. Sometimes it is exactly what you wanted to offer in the first place, but sometimes you have to adjust your strategy a bit. Basically, sell people what they want and then give them what they need. I have a course called Sales Every Day. The title is exactly what my students want. They want to sell their online course every day. In the program itself, I teach them what they need to know and what they need to do to actually have sales every day. I could have called it Online Business Foundations, but then it wouldn't have been what they wanted to buy. Third, you need engaged people to be able to sell. An email list, even if it's well nurtured with weekly newsletters, is not engaged enough to sell many spots of your online course. It isn't enough to send a few emails and make a few social media posts. You need a marketing campaign to engage people with your content and then sell your online course. There are basically two ways to sell an online course: with a launch, which is basically a marketing campaign, and an evergreen funnel, a sales funnel. With a launch, you can sell a lot of spots in one go. And with an evergreen funnel, you can sell also many spots, but over a longer period of time. But in both cases, you first need to engage your audience to make them ready to buy. A great way to engage your audience is a freebie or a low-priced program. With a freebie, it's easier to get a lot of signups, but with the low-priced programs, you get a buyer. And as they say, a buyer is a buyer. Both strategies work, and I recommend to my students that they actually use both to get the engagement they need to sell their online course. In this video, I've shared with you the biggest mistakes I made in my first year of online business when trying to sell my first online course and how you can avoid these mistakes. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and if so, please subscribe and share.